Alrighty, y'all, welcome back to my channel. You know what? Sorry guys, I haven't been posting these past couple years. Been really going through some stuff, or actually went through some stuff, and didn't really get to post a bunch, and kind of fell out of love of the sport of fishing, to be honest. And I'll go more into that later on in some of these videos. One of the reasons I'm going to do a narration over this video is because throughout the entire day and getting back into filming, my audio was complete crap. So you're going to get to be serenaded by my lovely deep voice. Okay, I don't have a really deep voice, but it is what it is. Kind of got to go with what I've got, and this is the film and footage that I've got. And we're I decided this year to fish the Potomac team series, and got a new boat too. Got the Vexus VX20. It was a 2023 that was left over on the lot. Got a smoking good deal on it. Picked it up there in Connecticut at Reynolds Marine, and they did me good on my trade-in. Definitely did not get what I was hoping for trade-in wise and trade-in value, but the old boat kind of had a bunch of problems with the Humminbird units, and I didn't have maps up front, and it would always lose sync, and so I was pretty happy to honestly get rid of that boat. But it was a fantastic boat for all the tournaments that I did in it. I took that thing everywhere. Took it all the way up to Thousand Islands, and hit Lake Erie with it, and Florida and Texas, and overall just had a good time in that Skeeter. But you know what, I'd been looking at boats for quite a while, and knew I wanted something else, and really was trying to get something that I absolutely wanted, and settled on the Vexus. Never drove it. Just knew that it had the layout that I wanted, came with the electronics that I wanted, came with the Minn Kota. Another thing that I've done with this boat is upgrade the batteries, because that was part of the issue that I was having on the old boat, and especially with those Humminbirds, because every time I'd crank my engine, my Humminbird unit would shut off, right? And it started doing it on this one. Just the drop and the draw of the amperage, whatever, would start the Humminbirds over, and so I'd have to sometimes wait for those, well, not sometimes, all the daggum time, like all the time I took the boat out, I would have to wait for those to come up. And I just didn't see the need to spend that kind of money on an old boat, an older boat. And like I said, I'd grown out of the love of fishing. Probably 2024 I may have took my boat out 4 or 5 times total that whole year. Same with 2023, 2022. Yeah, very little usage over those few years, especially as I kind of went through what I went through, and I'll, like I said, go into that in another video. And short story is, got divorced, had some deaths that affected me pretty much immediately, lost a job. So right there on COVID, I went through a little tough stretch. Did okay financially. I was perfectly fine financially, thank goodness, due to the prep and everything that I'd done. And just fell out of love of fishing and fell into love with something else, right? And that something else was just hard work. Just time spent between the ears. Time working on myself, and it's something that I still enjoy to this day. Matter of fact, like, even as I'm prepping this video, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, okay, I really want to get back into YouTube. I'm really loving fishing. Like, I love being on this boat. This boat has been amazing to just fish from. I want to share that experience with you guys, and I miss doing this. I miss producing videos, putting them out there, engaging with people. It was a lot of fun. It grew so much of my life doing this, and I'm so very thankful that I had the chance to produce these videos. I had a stable career at the time, and everything just kind of led to YouTube, and YouTube spawned entrepreneurship in me. It's something that I always had in me, but then this gave me that avenue to chase and I loved it. I loved waking up in the morning, seeing the view counts on videos, seeing I wouldn't say it's instant gratification, but seeing that progression, right? And that allowed me to understand me as a person. And that's translated into my personal life outside of YouTube immensely. Matter of fact, the fact that I had YouTube, and I had started actually a social media management company via YouTube. Worked with some great brands like Lose and Strike King, and Ego Fishing, things like that. Those are some of my top brands that I worked with. But I also, again, I worked with other creators while working with those brands too. So at one point, like, I had like 40 creators working for me under my company and for a lot of these brands. And it was a really cool thing that I just kind of came up with as social media and social media influence was coming on board. And like I said, that spawned something in me. And now I own 3 companies, and I'm doing quite well in that. So some of which I'm going to share with you, because it involves the real estate space and things that I've been doing in real estate. So guys, I want to say I'm back, but I'm glad to be back to producing videos. I can't say that's going to be all twice a week kind of thing, but I would like to get into like a once a week or once every couple weeks, putting some content back out there for you. This was our first event out here doing Potomac teams, and we ran to Aquia first, and then ran to some other things, and had a really good day out there. Have not struggled to put limits in the boat this year, which has been phenomenal. This has been the first year that I feel completely at home in a boat. Between the operation of it, my electronics, been learning live scope a little bit, so that's something I'm still working on when I get time. It's a little bit harder in the tidal water systems, but I've got some other bodies of water that I've been fishing, and again, putting some time in to learn that, and just having fun. Honestly, just having a lot of fun on the water, loving being back on the boat. And I'm hoping to produce more good content for you guys. We had a good day out here on the water. I think we probably had around, I don't know, 11 to 12 pounds, somewhere in there. Nothing breaking the bank. And to top it off, like the crankbait bite was pretty darn good. We got on them pretty good, rolling crankbaits on wood and everything. That's a great Potomac early spring bite right there. Something I honestly learned up on the Upper Bay. I had a boater that took me out in one of the BFLs, and he smoked them pretty good on a red crankbait. And unfortunately, I was fishing behind him, and I couldn't repeat the same process. But my buddy kind of ran into the same thing here. Like I was fishing pretty clean with the crankbait that day. It's a crankbait I love, man, and you talk about catching everything and anything. That's the BX Brat by Propel. I like saying it like that, Propel, kind of like Borat when you'd say Pamela. Anyway, good color, good bait. Got some other baits that unfortunately, they don't make anymore that I'll use in later videos, but the old crankbait on wood was quite the bite, and quite a good bite for us that day. Of course, the setup that I like running that on is the Pro TI by Lose. That's just a really good combo. It's probably one of the best casting reels that they own. And I've got some other Lose products that don't cast all that great for especially lighter presentations. Unfortunately, like I said, my buddy had to watch the Lose show, and matter of fact, our first couple events kind of went that way, and I sure wasn't trying to backboat him or anything, but it just kind of the way it played out, especially when you're fishing wood, and especially when you get the first kind of go and crack at it like we did. Well, guys, you know, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, gonna try to make some more, try to do some more lifestyle stuff too. So you know, the channel might change just a little bit. It will still be heavy on fishing, but you know, a big portion of my life now is real estate and doing things in the real estate arena, simply because I love it. And one of the things I'm gunning towards for the future is to be able to fish full time. Like, I'm gonna say that right now. Like, you know, I'm old enough to where, like, I see the retirement end. You know, and it's still, for a lot of people, you know, still 20-30 years away, but to be honest, I'm trying to get there faster. I'm trying to get there as soon as I can so that I can enjoy the time that I have left on this planet, however much time that may be. And you know, fishing is a big passion of mine, and I'm glad to have rekindled my love of it. And one of the things I think we all do when we get into this space is think to ourselves, like, man, how could I fish more, right? And that truly has become a dream of mine. Like, you know, I've said other dreams in the past, like, oh, I'd like to win tournaments, stuff like that. Like, yeah, but you know what? I wake up every day thinking about this now. I wake up every day thinking, okay, how am I going to position myself in the future so that I can actually do this full time, to where I can maybe take people out on my boat who want to come out with me, and you know, we can again have just a good time hitting up the water, cutting up, and you know, catching fish. So you know, that's something that I'm working towards, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not something that you can, I mean, not for me at least. You know, the boats cost money, gas, housing, living, all of that. So, you know, my answer to be able to do that here in the future is going to be real estate. And I would like to kind of share how I'm going to do that, because I believe you probably share the exact same goal as me. I believe that if you could, you would fish as much as you possibly could. And you know what? If the way that I do it inspires you to take the same path, if you possibly can, then I think that's going to be good. I think that's going to be good for everybody. I think that's going to make for great content. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Looking forward to seeing you guys out there on the water. Say hi to me. Pretty easygoing guy. So, you know, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.